Now we're going to go on to our first big old game of the show. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. No 4 in there. You guys have been playing this a little bit more than I have. I know Derek's been really diving into the multiplayer, and both of you have been checking out some of the story. Yeah, Derek, why don't you take it away and let us know what's going on in the world of modern warfares.
Well, for one, we're back to being a fully boots on the ground iteration. No crazy double jumping or anything. They did keep the slide, which is kind of nice because you could probably pull that off. But yeah, no, it's just pulling you back to that actual warfare feel without all this kind of sci-fi-ish elements that we've had in the past couple. And with the story, it kind of gets a little dark and hones in on those gray areas of war and choices and what's going on with everything.
Mm-hmm. So what's the story setup? Who are we warfaring this time?
I believe it's still some part of Russia, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still early in, and it kind of it bounces around with this so it's in a fictional world. What is it called? It's got some a really weird name.
Of the country?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fake
Yeah.
Middle Eastern country.
Yeah, Yorzikistan or something like that.
Yeah.
So you kind of land in there, and then you're just kind of put in with this faction, and all of a sudden it's hey, this is what's going on. We're gonna do this. Are you gonna help or you're not gonna help? And then it just takes off from there.
I heard it's a cinder block carrying simulator.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta.
My favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kind of gotta blend in. They try to blend you into what's going on as you're trying to make it through.
Mm-hmm.
But then it'll shift. You'll finish that part, and then it shifts over to where you're a strike team or something, and you go over right into infiltrate the house, and then all of a sudden it's back to being with the resistance again. So it's kind of all around. For me, it's been a little bit harder to follow than the more linear ones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that gets better a little bit more on. Leaf played it a little bit more than I have story wise.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that?
It does that thing that they did a little bit in probably Modern Warfare 1, where they kind of globetrot a little. And you're not necessarily with one protagonist. You're with a scattering of protagonists throughout the campaign across the world. So you get to meet different people and be different people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that used to be how back to Call of Duty 2 and 1. That's how they had those. You played different characters.
Yeah.
Kind of, and it's spread around different places. Like it is fictional place of Urkistan, which you'll go to. There's a lot of it set in London,
mm-hmm.
which is kind of generally in the middle of a kind of a terrorist kind of like bombing
attack
type thing that's going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess comparatively to gameplay look and feel and everything, how does it feel any different than the last one? Does it look different? I know they were talking a big game about it looking better.
Oh, it looks incredible. It really does.
Yeah.
The lighting, the textures, the world building within the environment. Yeah, it looks great. The lighting is stunning.
Yeah, it has really more of that realistic feel to it versus the kind of from Black Ops 4 and stuff had more of that sci-fi feel to it. So you had more vibrant colors in that, and the areas would stand out to where this is you're here in London in that area. It's kind of dark there and raining, kind of you'd get from that kind of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And then out in the desert, it's bright. There's it's reflecting off the sand and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, the cutscenes are like top notch. Like when you look at character models and stuff like that, it looks fantastic. It looks really good in the game, but the game.
Oh,
go on, sorry.
How are Price's mutton chops? Are they rendered well?
This is the thing. They are rendered quite well, but the environments look so realistic that they do kind of look a bit uncanny valley. Some of these characters when they are actually being like the in-engine type, as opposed to cutscenes. Yeah, it looks a little bit weird. It looks a little bit weird.
Every now and then something will kind of pop out, like, oh wow, this like the area you're in looks so awesome, and then like you'll get a character model and be like, wait, what? And then then it's back to where everything kind of like flows together. And with look too, we could kind of talk about sound a little bit, because they invested quite a bit of deal of money into ballistics and how weapons sound, how they sound if they're silenced, if they have a muzzle brake, if they're shot inside, down an alley, in an open area, in a cave. Those distinctions are there. So now it's a lot harder to like from a multiplayer aspect to tell like, okay, I hear this gun, this guy's over here with this type of gun. You can't really tell that, because now it's like they sound like they actually would if you're out firing the gun. Like if you fire it down a hallway, it's going to sound away. If you're out in the open, it's going to sound away. If you're in a tunnel or close to other things,
they've
really
been kind of
with
lacking in the gun punch in Call of Duty for a while.
Oh, it's getting back now. They really need to. Party effects are good as well when things are really kicking off and you're in small environments and just stuff blowing up everywhere. Looking mad. The tone is a lot more kind of pulled back, more like maybe the first Modern Warfare. It's not as. Sometimes it was hurrah. This isn't really like that at all. Kind of people make very questionable. People you're supposed to be kind of ally with make very questionable, sometimes collateral damagey type calls, which they don't kind of justify or not justify. Kind of left there for you.
Yeah, and it kind of like starts right off with that gray area too. Like within the first like what was it, 10-15 minutes, when you want to save that guy and somebody else doesn't, and that scene just plays out. Like it was like, oh shit. Yeah.
And there's no shaving off the edges of like, we had to do that because they don't explain this to you. It's like, come on, get out. And it's like, but hang on. So is that kind of that ambiguity that maybe wasn't there before? Yeah, it's dialed down on the Michael Bayisms as well. I think it can be spectacular. You can see things kicking off, but it's not as bombastic so far as it has been, like maybe in Modern Warfare 3, where it's like ridiculous.
Yeah,
like The Rock or something like that.
And then like the immersion of it too is a little bit more there, because like in that London scene that was earlier, so I've seen that one. When you're starting to fight through there, like the people you're shooting against are in like regular civilian clothes, so you're trying to see like who's got a gun, who's trying to run away, and it's chaos real quick. But it's like, whoa. Because it's more of like, okay, we're out here, it's a military shooter, we're just shooting up everything, making it through here. No, this is like, you're in this situation, this is as close as they could represent to what could be going on in this situation. And I think they pulled it off really good for, going a little while without having a story or having that type of gameplay in their game.
So far, it's the best story mode in years.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that panned out, because that was one of the things that they were, hyping, was the story. So what about the other half of the game, the multiplayer? How's that panning out?
Multiplayer has been a blast. I've actually found myself playing like game modes that I normally wouldn't touch. Like I'd be in there, I'd play like Kill Confirm, Team Deathmatch, playing on hardcore. I'd never really do like domination or search or like their bigger battle types. But in this one, I find myself now like we play domination most of the time, and then we'll go into ground war as well, which is right now it's 25 versus 25. I think eventually that one's supposed to become 50 versus 50. I could be wrong, but I know at some point
it's 32 v 32. I think that's what their goal is.
I know at some point though they were marketing for like 100-player battleground thing. So we'll see. But right now the 25 versus 25 is going really well. It's a lot of fun. It's chaos.
Yeah, yeah. That's the little bit I played was a few matches of that, and yeah, it was wild. It was just like it was basically Battlefield is a
and
the
they
way
did
to
like
describe
a
it.
really good job of doing something on that scale that wasn't like when they did the Battle Royale in Black Ops 4. Like, yeah, that was big, but this was
there's
big,
like tanks driving down the street.
This is modern warfare. We're back to what Call of Duty was like.
Yeah, there's tanks driving down the street and snipers all the way up on the tall buildings and stuff.
Yeah, and I guess when talking about that too, one of the big things to talk about would be the Gunsmith now and the way your weapons and like pretty much all of loadouts work. They went away from the point system where before you'd have 10 points, depending on what you equipped and perks and attachments and like your grenades and stuff like that, whatever you could do to get yourself up to that 10 points, and you could stack stuff if you picked up like the cards to give yourself something extra. They kind of stepped back from that. And now you can have up to 5 attachments on your gun if you want that. But now every weapon in the game, they said, is estimated to have around 50 attachments. But they all have different stats and kind of like, not really perks because your guns have perk to it, but modifiers on them. Like something might have something good for sleight of hand, or another one might be better for aiming down sights. And it kind of gives you a little bit more customization with that. But now you're not just limited to that. You get your main gun, you get your second gun, you get your lethal grenade, you get your non-lethal, and then you get 3. What's it called? It's not the perks. You get like 3 of your abilities for your character, and the guns now have the perk. But they kind of stepped that back too and expanded on that to now you can't like load yourself out to be completely silent and really fast all the time. Stuff has cooldowns, or like to move like that FMJ now has you'll have to activate it, and then you've got 30 seconds where you're doing that shot, to not where you're having it all the time and you're just sitting around doing that. So it gives you kind of more like ability to play around with like different play styles, and one's not the best because there's so many variants now, and it's just not getting that optimal loadout. It's what you feel comfortable playing and how you can make that work for you, if that makes sense with it.
Yeah. Cool. And has been connection been good, and no problems there, no stability issues?
Yeah, like the first night when it came out, it was a little rocky, but ever since then, like the very next day, they had it panned out real quick, and I've had like 1 or 2 dropped games within like 2 weeks now worth of playing it.
Yeah. Okay.
And, we've been playing for like 4 or 5 hours a night.
Have you checked out the Spec Ops at all?
Yes, actually, last night we did that just for the podcast. I was like, hey guys, let's check this out. It's insanely hard.
That's what I was telling you. I was watching some people play it, and I was like, this looks really hard, even with a full squad of people communicating.
We dropped into the survival one, which just kind of like starts you there. And yeah, that was pretty difficult, but we were able to last a bit. So we're like, all right, let's go check out the Spec Ops one, which is more like your kind of like mission-y setup one. Which was more, I think, when I was talking to my one friend about it, it was more like how it was back in Modern Warfare when they had it.
Yeah.
So it was more of that classic feel, like the classic style.
So the Spec Ops that I remember from, I think must have been the first Modern Warfare, was really just a straight up terrorist hunt. You would be thrown into this level, and the goal was simply to kill all the terrorists that were on the level. And they had the regular terrorists, they had ones with RPGs, they had the big juggernauts with the bomb armor. And that's all I remember it being. I don't remember like long missions or anything like that, and certainly not that other Spec Ops mode that was just like you're following a truck around and waves of enemies keep coming at you.
Yeah, with this, it's definitely I guess they kind of switched it up because it's kind of like wave based. Like you'll clear out a wave and then you'll get a certain amount of time because the two modes act kind of the same, but the way they're set up, like in survival, you start with a pistol and you have to pick up all your weapons. Where in the Spec Ops one, you're kind of given a loadout, and then can like pick up stuff. But the Spec Ops was really hard. Like we got messed up pretty bad, and we had a group of 5. 1, 2, 3. No, we had 4 of us playing in it, and yeah, we made it through a couple waves, and then we just get down and get completely messed up once they started swarming.
Yeah. Also, when I was watching that, there were a lot of glitches and issues with it. I don't know if they ironed those out or if you ran into anything like falling through the ground and connection problems and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I didn't run into any of that. Maybe because they have put out a couple patches. They've put out some big ones and they put out a couple smaller ones. So I think they're trying to address issues like that as quickly as they can.
Yeah, because I was thinking about getting it mostly for the co-op Spec Ops because I remember having a good time with that back when with the first Modern Warfare. But after seeing how hard it is and how it's not like, at least I remember it or my buddies remember it, I was like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the nostalgia trip I was looking for.
Yeah, it's definitely hard and a challenge. Like, I wouldn't say that should like 100% deter you from it, but it's definitely something that if you're looking for like, all right, I want a challenge in something, that's definitely it right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's what we're looking for these days.
Yeah. Another thing, since we're talking about connection and all, we did get to play with our buddy who was on PC. We used the in-game chat, and it was kind of weird because it makes you sound like you're talking over a military radio. I don't know if it's on purpose that they're doing it, but you had that like kind of raspy, gritty sound when you were talking. Yeah. And it was really like, it really threw us off because we were like,
well, are you using a voice changer?
When we're in party, we're crystal clear to everybody. But then when we were in this, it was real raspy. Our friend on PC, he was super low, so he had to keep adjusting his mic to get it up. But as far as actually playing with each other, we didn't run into any lag issues. We connected right up. And it worked pretty well. So, you know, kind of hats off to nailing that crossplay.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the first big AAA game that's had it.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So that's a big deal.
That seems to be working pretty well. So, you know, like those rumors we heard of how it's that easy to do, it seems like it is, as long as everybody wants to work together and be like on top of whatever they have to do for each company.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just they have to program it into the game, but at least from a standpoint from the platform holders, it seems to be an open door now. So all they have to do is put it in their game, figure out how to do that. All right. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Trying to think. Lee, do you have anything?
No.
Did we forget one of the 5 million modes in this game that you have to download individually every time you launch the game?
That great crazy download. Yeah, that was kind of weird. And it was kind of weird for like everybody because disc players, once they put the disc in, they had 4 different downloads. If you bought it digitally, we had 6.
Yeah.
At least on PlayStation side, I can attest to that because I know Jason had said it was 4 downloads. I had gotten it digitally and it was 6. I'm not sure I've talked to anybody that's... Well, Lee, you're on the Xbox, right?
Yeah.
With that, how many...
I think it was 4. I think it was 2 for the multiplayer element, and there was 2 for the campaign. And I did that offline. I always like to check offline, because I play offline.
Okay, did you do yours with the disc then?
Yeah.
Okay, so then...
offline, yeah.
It'll probably match up then. Disc had 4 download, digital had 6. And it kind of threw me off when it started, too, because all of a sudden it was like... all right, I pre-ordered it. I clicked the thing, and all of a sudden it was like,
yeah, ding, 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 ding on PlayStation. How they all pop up.
And I was like, what the hell is all this?
Oh no, I've got viruses now.
Yeah.
Attacking my PlayStation.
But I guess one thing to mention about multiplayer too that it in is right now they have there are no microtransactions in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like at some point they could implement some sort of battle pass because there are like missions that you can select now. And once you do certain things to complete these missions, you'll get different rewards. So that's something that's there. So I think if they like stay with that, and they said that like no weapons will be part of like those type of loot boxes, if they keep it strictly cosmetic, I think would be a big step for like a big game like this, to where you get burdened down with this. And in Black Ops 4 there was weapons, like good weapons, locked behind these loot boxes that you had to hope to get. So the fact that they stripped it out.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of trade-off with the no season pass thing, no map packs and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, because they said all maps are going to be coming out free.
Yeah.
Anything that they add will be like that too. So like, I think, like I said, it's always been my opinion on this too, is if you're going to do microtransactions, have them cosmetic, have it not directly affect the game, and they're fine. You can choose if you want them, you choose if you don't. It doesn't hurt anything. It's once it starts affecting the game, that it causes the issues.
All right. So that was Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Thank you for joining us on this very special episode of Voxel Viewpoint. If you'd like to hear or see more, please consider subscribing to us on your favorite podcast app, subscribing to us on YouTube, or visiting voxelvoice.com, where all of our great content comes together in one place. Also check out the Voxel Voice Facebook group, where you can join in on the discussion with a great like-minded community.